It's sort of amusing, isn't it, that when an MP says that protesters shouting Allahu Akbar should be arrested for intimidating behaviour, I suppose, he is accused of textbook Islamophobia. And when a woman is arrested for silently praying as a single person standing in the street near an abortion clinic, she's arrested. Because praying, according to this policeman, is an offence. I'm Granniopteryx. I'm on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute and Minds. Let's just go into what Robert Jenrick was saying. It wasn't so much that these people were calling Allahu Akbar, it's that they were calling Allahu Akbar while in this sort of a situation. Or this. Or this. Right, I think that's enough. I could probably pull out several more. It isn't so much the Allahu Akbar, which I'm quite sure Mr. Jenrick does not wish to stop people from saying in the mosque. It's the fact that it's being used by a mob, and it is acknowledged to be a Muslim war cry. When it's used in those circumstances, it is intimidatory. And there is a law against intimidation. Robert Jenrick has said police should immediately arrest any protesters shouting Allahu Akbar. Protesters, not just Muslims, protesters. And using the word protesters, by the way, is wrong as well. The Telegraph is getting quite mealy-mouthed of late. They weren't protesting, they were aggressively mobbing. And he was talking about pro-Palestinian protesters who have been known to throw Nazi salutes at Jews standing by the side of the road. There is obviously an attempt to intimidate and hurt. Speaking to Sky News on Wednesday morning, Mr. Jenrick said it was quite wrong that pro-Palestinian protesters had been allowed to chant Allahu Akbar, which means God is great. No, it doesn't. It means God is greater. And it apparently, according to Muslim tradition at any rate, stems from the idea that the local pagan tribes would shout the name of their god, Hubal, and they would shout Hubal is great, and then the believers would shout Allah is greater. Then Mr. Jenrick said, I thought it was quite wrong that somebody could shout Allahu Akbar on the streets of London and not be immediately arrested, project genocidal chants onto Big Ben and not be immediately arrested. That attitude is wrong, and I'll always call out the police for it. If only the rest of the Conservative Party had called out the police for it, they might still be in government here. Now, at the moment, we have an administration in this country that is in power, but scarcely appears to be in government. The Tory leadership candidates' remarks were criticised by prominent Muslim parliamentarians, including Saeeda Wasi, always good for a quote, the Conservative peer, and the Labour MP Naz Shah, who apparently told Jews to bugger off to America at one point, who accuse Mr. Jenrick of textbook Islamophobia. I suggest that Naz Shah might have a textbook case of something else, but I'm not going to say what. Baroness Warsi wrote on X, every day before we start parliamentary business in the Commons, we say a prayer and praise God. We say our parliamentary version of Allahu Akbar, the heart of democracy. Well, yeah, that's the point. There is a difference between praying and saying certain words. God is great, Christ is king, that sort of thing. And between mobs rampaging through town centres shouting the same thing. It's not the same thing. And Baroness Warsi is being extremely disingenuous by conflating the two. This language from Jenrick is more of his usual nasty, divisive rhetoric. He is such a tool. Oh gosh, not the only tool in the box, is he? But no, it's not nasty, divisive rhetoric. As a matter of fact, Baroness Warsi, your rhetoric is nasty and divisive. You can say Christ is king when you're in church. When you're out there in a mob waving sticks and machetes and axes in the air, saying Christ is king is a threat. And the same goes for, of course, Allahu Akbar. Okay. Ms. Shah, the MP for Bradford West, said this is complete ignorance and textbook Islamophobia. No, the ignorance comes from Ms. Shah, I'm afraid. Okay, well, yeah, that's it. It's not just a matter of two-tier policing from the police. It's a matter of a two-tier attitude. And basically that's because Muslims will defend their faith with a great deal of vehemence, whereas Christians will simply stand back and stay quiet. You'll see that both in the mobs that went through the towns shouting Allahu Akbar, and that poor woman who was arrested for standing praying inside her head. Well, the same type of thing is happening in politics. Two Muslim politicians accuse one non-Muslim politician of Islamophobia, and none of the other non-Muslim politicians jump up to defend him. If that keeps on happening, then obviously Islam is going to be considered top dog. If you'll forgive me for using the word dog in that context. It's an English expression, folks. Don't get your knickers in a twist. Okay, till next time. You can help my channel by clicking like, by subscribing, by clicking the notification bell, and by sharing if you're so inclined. Links to my other channels are in the description, also links to donation sites, but really the best way you can help me is simply by clicking like. Thank you.